Pretty fascinating area, isn't it?
Yep.
And just the old analog radio wave system being the best one to use.
Yeah, and just yesterday we were talking about another method through the mobile phones to get the alerts out. So they're starting to develop the ideas.
Well, junior AFL players suspended from the Southern Football League for umpire abuse face a new and unusual punishment. They're being sent on training sessions with the umpires who've suspended them.
It's hoped this new tactic will curb bad behaviour and reduce the need for lengthy suspensions. Guy Stainer joins us now from a football field in Melbourne. Guy, take us through the idea.
Well, Barry, the Southern Football League has dramatically increased suspensions for umpire abuse in the last few years and found that it's had virtually no impact on the number of recorded cases going before the tribunal. So now the league is thinking outside the square and hoping that a player education program, helping players better understand the preparation that umpires go through and the sorts of things they go through on the field, could be the key to actually changing player behaviour on the field. And the man behind that initiative is the Southern Football League Chief Executive, Wayne Holdsworth, who joins me now. And Wayne, we're 2 weeks into the program. How's it going so far?
Nick, we're pretty happy with it, guys, so far. The feedback from the coaches, the umpires and particularly the players have been absolutely overwhelming. In fact, the players have gone back to the coaches and said it's been a really good experience, and they've learnt that the umpires are just human beings trying to do a job, a difficult job, and they've been very pleased with the outcome from the umpires and also from the coaches as well.
How confident are you that it will actually change player behaviour on the field?
Well, it's a speculative question. We're very early into the program, but we believe that education is a massive part in improving or providing a solution to this problem that not just Australian rules has, but all sport and community sport have.
What impact does umpire abuse have on the league in general and particularly on the umpires themselves?
Yes, certainly, Guy. It has an impact. It's very difficult to recruit and retain umpires in all community sport. And we believe that, and based upon the research from umpires that have left the sport, that abuse is one of the major factors. So we have a responsibility as community administrators to ensure that we make a difference and make it safe, fun and fair for umpires to be involved in our game, creating a good environment. And the way we're going to do that is to provide them with a safe environment where they can go and umpire and not get abused.
Now, this particular problem is certainly not exclusive to Australian rules football. We see umpire abuse and referee abuse across the spectrum in all sports. Has there been interest from other football leagues and also other sporting codes in what you're doing?
There's been a couple of calls we've had from Tasmania, for an example, and I know that other league managers just here in Melbourne are very keen to see the outcome of this particular program. So we're hoping it can be spread across all sports, Guy, a zero tolerance to abuse to umpires on the field.
Well, there you have it. The Southern Football League, as a big dump truck comes in and starts blaring in my ear, is hoping that this new education program could be the key to stopping the abuse of umpires on the field.
Guy Stainer, thank you for that. Reporting from a football field somewhere in the southern suburbs of Melbourne. Thank you.
For a look at the national papers today, we're joined by the executive editor of
the Next Champions Trophy for the first time in the history of the event. Jennifer Browning, ABC News.
There wouldn't be a footy fan who hasn't been riled by an umpiring decision at some point in their life. But one local football league is taking a novel approach to try to stamp out umpire abuse. When increasing suspensions for abusive behaviour failed to work, players were sent to train with the men and women who reported them.
It's just another footy training at a suburban footy ground.
Come on, keep pushing! Keep doing what you got to do! Let's go, let's go!
Except these people enjoying a kick and a handball are umpires. Now these umpires are being joined by some unusual training partners and spectators.
They end up getting 2 weeks suspension for abusive language towards an umpire. Public punishment is coming down here to their training and having a look and seeing what they're all about.
The league says the program is about humanising umpires and educating players.
To look them in the eye, to look at who they're abusing and to build a better relationship.
Dramatic increases in the penalties for umpire abuse had proved no deterrent, and the weekly tirades mean it's not just the boundary umpires tossing it in.
For a young umpire, a new umpire that's actually developing, learning in the game, it can have a massive effect on whether they decide to stay or go.
Injury forced Travis Gresk to watch this session from the sidelines, but it still proved an eye-opener.
I didn't think they would have the balls in play. They actually do a few handball drills and a bit of running in that, so I'm actually a bit surprised of what they do here. They must be pretty fit, but you wouldn't tell sometimes on a Saturday.
The feedback from coaches, players and umpires has been overwhelmingly positive, and we're looking forward to seeing the results of that in time.
The program is being keenly watched by football leagues and other sports around the country.
A lot of people would say that umpires umpire because they're not courageous enough to play. I totally disagree with that. It takes a very special courage to umpire.
And hopefully now more players will have the courage to take a backward step. Guy Stainer, ABC News, Melbourne.
Now to the weather, and around the state today there were widespread showers